What's going on, guys? Eric from TheWiscoGuyz here, and in today's video we're going to be doing a water pump on the Firebird. So I have one here from Napa, brand new, true flow water pump, lifetime warranty. And I have a lower radiator hose as well too, because we're going to change that, because I don't think I've ever changed it. So if you haven't seen the last video we posted, and I'll link it here in the corner, the cruise for cancer video, and we took this car on that cruise, and it was very fun. I loved doing the video, went through a bunch of footage, and it ended up being an hour long, so definitely a good video to watch. But in doing so, bringing this car on that cruise, I put about 300 miles on it, did like 2 burnouts, one small one, one big one. Didn't get the big one on camera because everything, my phone was dead, the camera was dead, everything like that. So ended up doing a big burnout, and after that, sat around for a little bit and then drove home about 70 miles. So got home, next morning, started it up, moved it, and looked underneath it, and all of a sudden there's coolant dripping down on the car, and I seen some drips. See that?
Oh no.
Yeah, there's coolant dripping down, and I think it's the water pump. I think it might be the little radiator hose. I mean, since we got the water pump and it was cheap enough, we're gonna do it. So
You bet.
Aaron's sitting there. Don't be pounding on that fucking hood. If you haven't seen, I'll link another video here in the corner. We did pretty much a whole exterior restoration on this car last winter. I'll definitely link the Firebird video, everything about this Firebird. So every video that we have on it. So if you check that out, you can see that. But right now we're going to be doing this water pump. So I think we'll be all right. So yeah, we're just gonna get started on it. We're gonna start pulling some stuff off the engine to get access to it, and then I'm gonna drain the coolant, and then try to get to this water pump pulley and get the belt off, and then get this changed out. So, all right, I'm gonna start pulling some stuff off, air intake and all that, get some more room. So we're going to take off the air intake hose, get some more access under there. So now we got the mass airflow sensor off. Actually see what's going on here. So there's our water pump right underneath the intake there, and then there's our water pump pulley. I'm going to loosen that up before we take the belt off, just so I can actually loosen up those 4 bolts right there. So, oh God, is it American? So this is 10 millimeter. Uh-oh, might be tight. Uh-oh. Now I got 2 wrenches on there. We're gonna tight. Oh, fuck. Where's the camera? Okay, those are loose. Now I gotta drain the coolant. Oh, I think I'm gonna take the belt off first.
Kyle hot rod.
So now that we got the water pump pulley bolts loose, we're gonna take off the belt. belts out. Now I'm going to loosen up that lower radiator hose. I don't know if you can see it. It's down here though. It's like right here. I'm gonna loosen that up and just drain the coolant out of there, because yep, that's what we're gonna do. So I ended up putting it on ramps just so I could get under. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be replacing that lower radiator hose. So I'm just gonna pull this off, drain the coolant using the lower radiator hose, and then once it all drips out into the pan, then start taking off that water pump. Messy job, messy job. Alrighty, so I got the hose clamps loosened, so we're gonna try to get this lower radiator hose off and drain this coolant. That was a bit of a mess. Alrighty, so I got the lower radiator hose off, just popped off, loosened up the clamps. This end is on the water pump, and then this end is on the lower part of the radiator. So got that off. Now we're gonna move on to the water pump, trying to get that removed. Alrighty, so now I got that lower radiator hose off. I'm gonna start taking out the bolts for the water pump. Alright, so it's a 14 millimeter. We're gonna get this on there. There's 4 bolts total for the water pump. That wasn't very tight. So getting the bolts loose now. Like I said, there's 2 on each side. If you look at the new water pump that you're getting, you'll be able to tell where they are and everything like that. So there we go. That one loose. So I'm getting the last bolt out now. Got the other 3 out. Pretty simple. Hopefully this thing just comes out and I don't have to take anything else off. So I have to start taking accessories off. I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Alright, so got the last bolt loose. We're gonna pull this water pump out. I got the water pump out, and it was leaking, that's for sure. So it needed to be done.
Go. That blew out?
Yep, right here.
Nice.
That's your blowout hole. I don't know what they call it, but look at that.
Yeah, she was done for.
Yeah. So. Alrighty. This has got to be factory.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So.
It looks old.
Alrighty. Well, let's get that new one, or get the surface prepped and get the new one in. So I got the gasket scraped off as best I could with a razor. I'm gonna go in there with like this little Scotch-Brite cookie thing. Cookie. If I can get in there. Oh jeez. Oh damn. What the fuck? That's good enough. Just want to make sure your gasket's all off of there before you put your new one on. So I'm gonna get the other water pump ready. Show you I got some like gasket shellac, I think they call it. Some of this from Napa. It's called Indian Head Gasket Shellac Compound. I like to put these on anything I'm doing with water pump gaskets, so I'm gonna use this and get the new water pump prepped to get put in there. Before we get the gaskets on and shellacked, there's this little plug here that needs to get threaded into there on the underside of the water pump. So I'm going to use thread tape. I'm going to thread tape the little plug. I'll thread tape that. Get it put in there. So that's good there. It's tight. So this is where we're going to do our gasket shellac. Ooh, this stuff is thick. Got our gasket here. I just like to coat it lightly, well, as light as you can, because this stuff is thick. Oh, I didn't want that much. Alrighty, so we got the one gasket shellacked. We'll get this other one shellacked. Some nasty stuff. You don't want to get it on you. And I'm getting it on me, so there. Get that on there like that. Then we want to get the outs or the inside of it shellacked too. Okay, now that I got the shellac on there, we're gonna get the bolts through and we're gonna start threading this into the block. So now we're gonna set this water pump in. I got the bolts already like in there a little bit. So you try to get everything lined up at the same time. This might be tough to see. I get everything lined up. Once you get one bolt started, it goes pretty easy. I got the two top bolts lined up on each side, so I should be able to just get them snugged up and then go to the bottoms. All the gaskets are lined up, everything like that. We're not going to fully tighten it, we're just going to get it to the point where it's just a little snug. I mean, so I can get those bottom ones lined up too, in case we need to adjust one way or another. Okay, we'll work on the other side here. So I got the last bolt here tightened. I'm just going to check the rest, make sure they're good. Kind of, like I said, it's kind of the pain in the butt to line up the gasket with all four bolts, but you can do it. You just got to have patience and just get everything lined up the best you can and make sure those gaskets are snugged up. So that's good there. Now we're gonna, I think I'm gonna get the new lower radiator hose on, and then I'm gonna put the pulley on after, get that pulley on, and then we can put the belt on, get some coolant in there, and fire it up and get it bled through, and hopefully everything's good to go. All right, so the water pump's in, tightened up, got the lower hose in, tightened up. So now we're gonna put the pulley on, and then put the belt on, and then fire it, well, and then put the air intake back on. Fire it up, make sure there's no leaks, and then start filling it, well, fill it up and make sure there's no leaks. So let's get to it. I got your pulley off. All right, so those are tightened up. I get the belt on, and then get the air intake stuff on, and then I can start filling it with coolant. Alrighty, got the belt back on, looking good there. So I'm gonna get the air intake back on, and then fill it with coolant. Leak? I don't think so. Tightening up the air hoses here, or the air intake. We'll get some coolant in there. So, got it somewhat filled up. I'm gonna give it a start and try to get this bled. Alrighty, so got it all filled up, started it, letting it run, try to bleed out. Got the heat on, so just waiting. It's not hot yet. Might have to add a little bit more. Check underneath. No leaks. I see a little bit from the core support, but that's about it. That should be good, hopefully. Hopefully. It's running good. So I'm gonna clean up a little bit, and we're gonna see if we can get this bled out. So. Alrighty, so no leaks, coolant's topped off, heat's working. This job is done. So that's it. That's all we're doing. So definitely thank you guys for watching. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see anything more with this Firebird. Let me know in the comments below. So thanks guys, subscribe, like, comment. See you guys, have a good night or day or whatever you're having. Bye.